everyone, it's me, Natalie, and I am going to do another readathon TBR. I think this year is just going to be me doing back-to-back readathons, but I love it. I found this readathon on Twitter. It's the WhoDunItAthon, and it's created by the book Gypsy and Carol Marie Reads. I think that's who it is, and I'll leave all those links below. It runs from the 13th to the 27th of January, and I am going to spend those 2 weeks reading the mystery novels. And I created my TBR for this from all Australian novels, so that's exciting for me too. So let's get stuck into it, shall we? Challenge 1 is to read a book with blue on the cover, and I found See What I Have Done by Sarah Schmidt. Sarah Schmidt is an Australian author. She's based in Sydney, and this is her debut novel. Now this novel is based on a true crime story of Lizzie Borden, who was accused of murdering her parents with an axe, and she got tried and acquitted for that. And this was in 1892, somewhere in America. Don't know, but that's actually happened. So this is a fictional retelling of that, and it's told from 4 perspectives of people who were there on the day. And obviously Lizzie's already been acquitted. When I did my little research on this, no one was tried of this, no one was convicted of this crime. So I'm wondering whether this is going to leave me hanging. Hopefully it's a good story, because I kind of like a resolution at the end. But anyway, I thought it'd be fun for all of these books to kind of give you my prediction of whodunit, because it's based on true crime. We obviously know what happens in the end, so I'm worried that I'm going to be left hanging on it. Whodunit? Lizzie. Let's say Lizzie. Let's say she really did it. Maybe I'll get to the end of this book and think she totally did it and she bribed the judge and jury. I don't know. So we'll see. So yeah, that's my first book for challenge 1. Okay, so challenge 2 is to read a book with an eye on the cover, and I totally have copped out on this one. It's got 6 eyes on the cover, so technically I'm ahead of the game. This is The Mystery of a Hansom Cab by Fergus Hume. This is the one that's not technically by an Australian author. So Fergus Hume was an English immigrant who immigrated to New Zealand, and then Fergus moved to Melbourne, where he wrote this book, and this book was published in Melbourne and in like 1886. This is, some say, the first crime novel that was set in Australia. So this is about a man who got murdered in a hansom cab in Melbourne, and a high society guy is accused of his murder, and a lawyer and a detective, I assume, who are working for this high society guy, try and work out what really happened. So I think it's a pure mystery, and obviously it's been made into some sort of films and things like that. I had no idea about that, but yeah, it's got eyes on the cover. That's all that matters. Whodunit? The hansom cab driver, or the guy owed some gambling debts. There's my prediction. Yeah, I'll run with the gambling debts guy. Let's see if I'm right. So challenge 3 was to read a hyped book, and I am reading I Am Pilgrim by Terry Hayes. This is a chunker. I shouldn't have picked it for a readathon. Totally get that. This book was published in 2014 and was on all of the must-read lists. So I saw it flying around then, and yeah, it's been on my want-to-read list for a long time. So yeah, I thought I'd pick it up as my hyped book. Terry Hayes is an Australian. He lives in Sydney. He started out his career as a foreign correspondent for an Australian newspaper and covered the Watergate and Nixon's resignation in the States, and then started to be a screenwriter for some pretty famous Australian films and series, and yeah, then turned his hand to being a published author. So this is a thriller. It's I think Pilgrim is a spy, a US spy, and it's there's 4 deaths all around the globe, and somehow they're connected, and it's up to this Pilgrim dude to find them. This is not really my jam normally, but we're in a readathon and it was on my list of want to reads, so we'll give it a go. My prediction of whodunit is, you know, another spy that works with Pilgrim or someone high up in the spy agency, the US spy agency. That's my prediction for I Am Pilgrim. So this is 800 and something pages long. Silly idea, but I have 2 weeks for this readathon, so I figure I'll be able to get this done. Yeah, so that's challenge 3, I Am Pilgrim. So challenge 4 is to read a book with trees or branches on the cover, and I have picked The Far Back Country by Kate Lyons. Now, this isn't necessarily a whodunit. There's no, you know, mystery to solve, but there is kind of a mystery that weaves its way through. So this is a story about Ray. Ray lives on an outback sheep property and at 14 has a really violent confrontation with his father and runs away and moves away. And he leaves behind his mum and 2 sisters. And one of his sisters, Ursula, spends her life trying to find Ray and find out what happened to him. And then one day a body is found. Someone is murdered in a country pub somewhere, and Ray's description is given as the murdered victim. So Ursula thinks that her search has, you know, is laid to rest. She found out where Ray is, but then she starts to work her way backwards from that and ends up coming across Ray. And during that time, Ray is on his own journey through outback New South Wales as well. So I think the mystery here is what happened to Ray. And also the uncovering of some family secrets and all that sort of stuff. So there's no real whodunit. I don't think it focuses on the person who was murdered. I think it's more of a focus on that mistaken identity. But yeah, there's still a mystery involved. I guess I can predict that Ray will end up back on the farm, taking over from where he ran away all those years ago and making amends there after his father has died. I don't know. That's total guess. We will see how I go. Yeah, so that's challenge 4. And then challenge 5 is to read a book with gender bending qualities. And then challenge 5 is to read a book with genre bending qualities. So I have picked Cairo by Chris Womersley. Chris Womersley lives in Melbourne, so he's an Australian author, and this is set, I don't know whether it's set in Melbourne, but it's certainly set in Australia. This is about, what's his name? This is about 17-year-old Tom Button, and Tom moves from the country where he's bored and moves into the city into an apartment building called Cairo. And in that apartment building, he becomes friends with lots of poets and painters and goes to all of these bohemian parties and gallery openings and things like that. So one part of this story is about how Tom finds his first love and evolves from a 17-year-old into a city savvy kind of kid that, makes friends and parties and does all those things. So a coming of age story. And then on the other side, there's this art heist mystery. So one of, is it Picasso's paintings, gets stolen from a gallery, and it kind of, the blurb of this book insinuates that it's someone that Tom knows, and he kind of gets caught up into the deception and the mystery surrounding that art heist. So there's a sort of a coming of age story of Tom and then this art heist mystery thing running alongside each other. So I thought that was kind of genre bending. There was, a couple of mixtures of genres there. So yeah, whodunit? It will be Tom's closest friend in the apartment block. We will see. But yeah, that's challenge 5. So that's it. These are my stack of books for WhoDunItAthon. I intend to spread them over the 2 weeks. I don't want to get all crazy because we all know that, I'm still got kids on holidays. So my reading isn't as fast as I want it to be. But yeah, this is going to be a really fun readathon, and I can't wait to join in with the others that are doing it as well. If you're doing WhoDunItAthon, let me know. I would love to hear what you're reading. And if you're reading any Australian mystery novels, there's far more than this around. But if you're reading any Australian authors in that, let me know as well. Okay, I think that's it. I'm going to be vlogging for this readathon, so that will be a lot of fun, and I'll keep you updated on where I'm at and whether my predictions of whodunit came true. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.